Huge story just came out. It went viral. This alleged Pfizer executive who thought he was on a date. Unfortunately for him and for Pfizer, he was on a date with an undercover Project Veritas journalist. And he got a bit too comfortable with him and decided to brag a bit about what they were doing behind the scenes at Pfizer. He later got confronted, by the way, about that, and that's what he was saying. He was like, oh my god, I was lying. I was just trying to impress my date.
Is this real life? I'm literally a liar.
But he said what he said, and now it's gone viral. I'll admit, when I first saw that video without understanding the context, and before conducting my own little investigation that I'll show you very soon, I thought that it might be fake. I thought that it might be some actor playing off as a Pfizer employee pretending to reveal their secrets just to make conspiracy theorists go crazy. But after some investigation, I realized that it's actually true. This guy does work for Pfizer, even though now he's obviously fired. It doesn't confirm that everything he says is true, but he seemed pretty honest to me.
You're not supposed to do gain function research of the viruses, like they recommend not, but you do like these like selected directional mutations to try to see if you can make more potent.
Yeah.
So there is research ongoing about that. I don't know how that's gonna work. There might not be any more outbreaks to like Jesus Christ.
Now you're about to witness what I assume to be Pfizer covering their tracks with an ongoing attempt to erase this man off the face of the internet, live. As I'm video recording this, because we all know screenshots can be photoshopped, you're getting it live as I was navigating the Google search, refreshing links, and seeing how they were deleting and modifying things in real time. Now let's start by looking at who is this guy. His name is Jordan Christian Walker, Pfizer Director of Research and Development, Strategic Operations, mRNA Scientific Planner. Now how do we know this is true? Before I show you the remaining traces of him that prove he works for Pfizer, I'll show you the proof that they're actually trying to scrub him off the internet. Now, Jordan wrote an article on a Boston Consulting Group's website, which is a company that offers services of biopharma growth strategy. In other words, an entire division focusing on how to make people take more drugs. Think about that. Well, it looks like Pfizer might have hired Jordan from Boston Consulting Group for their own growth strategy. Now, he wrote an article there about the near-term outlook for COVID-19 therapeutic treatments. And before you say, well, where's his picture? How do we know it's the same Jordan Walker? You scroll down here and you see his lovely face. And you'll see in that video, it's exactly this guy. If you click on his LinkedIn profile, oops, doesn't exist anymore. Before that story broke out though, it existed. And the actual first link on the Google search is the same thing. We have a profile here that actually shows his position at Pfizer here. View Jordan Walker's business profile as Director, Worldwide R&D Strategic Operations and mRNA Scientific Planning at Pfizer. Now, if you click on there, a legit website, and it's deleted. Oh, and notice how at the top of the Google search, there's a little disclaimer where it says it looks like the results below are changing quickly. If this topic is new, it can sometimes take time for reliable sources to publish information. Come back later. Other sources might have more information on this topic in a few hours or days. Does this mean that there were never any search results for this guy? That he just didn't exist before? Or does this mean that they're scrambling to erase or edit every trace of him on the internet? I bet they're in meetings right now just figuring out how we're going to fix this, how we're going to patch this, how we're going to spin this story or explain this away. Now, they haven't managed to delete everything just yet. Here at Signal Hire, which provides real-time, verified contact info for recruiters, sales professionals, and marketers, you've got Jordan Walker's profile. Now, as you can see, Jordan Walker's current position, Director, Worldwide R&D Strategic Operations and mRNA Scientific Planning at Pfizer. Here, it's on video, name Pfizer, industry, pharma. And here it reads that he worked for Pfizer for 579 days. His email address is wxx@pfizer.com. 2 hours later. Now, would you look at that? I just refreshed his signalhire.com profile, and you can check here. It's the same URL. Go zoom in on the previous recording if you want proof. And that's an error. It doesn't exist anymore. And no, this isn't a profile that he could have quickly put in there or removed himself without filling out some form. It's a verified database. And just so you understand the extent of how much you can't just trust what the mainstream media says, okay? You got Forbes here, pretty reputable website. It says, well, a Google search didn't really reveal any legitimate source that could verify the person's name and title. Well, duh, because they deleted it. So I'm actually recording this as I'm editing, and Pfizer did respond to the allegations, and they don't mention the guy, they don't mention the story, they only say, we are not guilty of any of this. Alright, well, I guess we're just going to ignore your history of lying, of manipulation, of corruption. I mean, they're only guilty of the largest healthcare fraud settlement in the history of the Department of Justice. No big deal. Oh, and did you know that Pfizer tried to have their mRNA vaccine data hidden for 75 years? I mean, nowadays with cancel culture, we cancel people out of silly things, inconsequential things, or something they said when they were 19 years old and stupid. But we're not going to cancel them when they're being huge frauds in the sector of public health. I feel like trying to continually make excuses for these companies and how they lie and